A good Baron Sengir deck. Okay, that's kind of a challenge. I think I'm ready for that. Okay, that makes sense. Oh! Ludvic's kind of hard. Okay, Ludvic's really hard. Hello everyone, the professor asked me to build a Sengir deck. And if you want to know the full story, you should watch the episode of Shuffle Up and Play right now, or after this video. Either one, your choice. For all the Commander brewers out there, we know that the prof has handed me a really difficult pairing because Ludvic is outclassed by his mighty creation, Crom. Ludvic is also bad because he allows your opponents to draw cards, and we hate that. He's kinda like an Izzet Edric. Is it? Baron Sengir is also challenging because he's a 6-mana commander who only gets stronger from a creature dying. He also comes with very conditional life gain. My goal as the deck designer is to maximize both of the commander's mechanics in this deck. I'm not making a generic Grixis deck to sidestep their weaknesses. We're gonna discover the synergies between Sengir and Ludevic, with the last added rule of making the deck feel flavorful. So let's start breaking down some themes for us to work with for both commanders. Ludevic allows you to draw at the beginning of your end step if another player has lost life this turn. This also applies to all opponents as well. So let's break this apart. Ludevic gives us extra draws, rewards us for damaging players, and also rewards players for damaging each other. This means we can play cards like Teferi's Ageless Insight to double up our own draws, Cunning Spark Mage to make sure we can draw off of a ping, and for the last theme, we can punish opponents for drawing too much with cards like Fevered Visions, Mind's Eye, or my personal favorite, Psychic Possession. We can also lean into provoking our opponents to draw cards off of each other by playing goad cards like Agitator and Bailiff Baratil, whatever that dude's name is, or Grenzo. Now let's hop over to the Dark Baron himself, Sengir. Bat noises. For Sengir, we know that he's a vampire that grows bigger when another creature dies. He also gains life when another player loses the game, which is cool. We want to grow Sengir with cards like Innocent Blood, which is a +8 for 1 mana, making Sengir into a 12/12 or a 2-turn clock. And don't forget flavor matters here. Because I want to properly represent the Sengir family in this deck, we will have to make this a vampires deck. Let's just quickly delete these cards real quick. Now that we have this big mass of themes and cards, how are we gonna smooth out this deck? If we look into modern vampires from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, we know that blood tokens are a huge part of the faction. We also know another issue of vampires is a lot of the strong vampires are hard to cast. So how do we maximize the looting effect of blood tokens? By using them to discard our vampires to reanimate, of course. Ha! Ha! It's alive! The shell of a Grixis Vampire Reanimator deck gives us a cohesive game plan. Ludvic is here to support our card draw and incentivize opponents to hit each other instead of us. Meanwhile, Sengir grows bigger from our sacrifice effects and goaded creatures lost in combat. Knowing what the deck does, we can focus on creatures that synergize across key themes. This includes cards like Olivia's Attendants, who is a vampire that creates blood tokens, but also can ping opponents to trigger Ludvic or kill small creatures to grow Sengir. Imposing Grandeur is a powerful wheel that lets us dump our hand of vampires, but also draws us 6 cards by leveraging Sengir's casting cost. Rankle hits on every angle by letting us pitch creatures to discard, draw cards off of the life loss, and also fuel Sengir with the sacrifice effect. Camber is a great payoff for onboard creature removal like Olivia Voldaren to generate more blood tokens for us, but also to bring in our partner Loreen to turn those blood tokens into more goad effects to synergize with all the goad cards we have. Lastly, cards like Markov Enforcer are valuable for giving us a little bit of spot removal with each vampire that enters the battlefield, while rewarding us with a little bit more of that sweet, sweet blood token. There's so much more synergies within the deck that I recommend everyone to check out the Moxfield QR code right here. But I'm glad I was able to design a deck for Gavin, of all people, I'm also excited to take 2 very unique commanders and create something fun and playable for the table. Maybe too playable. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. If this deck interests you, don't forget, you can watch it live on Shuffle Up and Play right now. Here's the link. If you haven't seen the other deck I brewed for the Professor, you definitely watch this deck tech for the pre-Commander Doran deck. Okay. Thanks everyone. Sorry, Olivia. Bye.